Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a woman and later wondered if you missed something important? Maybe the interaction seemed completely normal at first. Just a simple conversation, a few smiles, a couple of small moments that didn't seem significant at the time. But later, when you replay it in your mind, certain details start standing out. The way she looked at you for a moment longer than expected. The way the conversation kept going even when it should have ended. Most men miss these moments, not because they are unaware, but because they are looking for obvious signs. They expect attraction to be clear, direct, and impossible to misunderstand. But in reality, interest often appears in quiet ways. Small shifts in attention, behavior, and energy that reveal curiosity without ever being spoken out loud. And once you understand what to look for, you start noticing signals that were always there, just subtle enough that most people overlook them. Here are 6 subtle signals women sometimes give that many men never notice. 1. Her attention keeps returning to you. One of the earliest changes that happens when curiosity begins is attention. You may notice that her focus drifts back toward you during group conversations. Even when others are speaking, her reaction seems strongest when you are the one talking. Sometimes it's even more subtle. You walk into a room and she becomes slightly more alert. Her posture adjusts almost automatically. People rarely control their attention perfectly. When someone becomes interesting to us, our awareness naturally moves toward them again and again. And that quiet shift is often the first signal people miss. 2. Conversations last longer than expected. There's a clear difference between polite conversation and curious conversation. Polite conversations tend to finish quickly. A question gets answered, a topic ends, the interaction moves on, but curiosity stretches time. Instead of ending, the conversation keeps expanding. One topic leads to another. A finished discussion suddenly continues in a different direction. Sometimes the interaction ends, and then starts again later. A message, a follow-up question, a small observation that reconnects the conversation. And when someone keeps finding reasons to continue talking, it usually means the interaction matters more than it appears. 3 gets more noticed. Her energy changes around you. People rarely behave exactly the same around everyone. When someone feels comfortable or intrigued by another person, their behavior often adjusts slightly. Her tone may soften. Her reactions might become warmer. She might laugh more easily or seem more engaged during conversation. Sometimes she even begins matching your pace or posture without realizing it. These changes are rarely intentional. They happen because people naturally synchronize with those they feel comfortable around. 4. She remembers small things about you. Memory can quietly reveal where someone's attention has been. You might mention something small in passing. A hobby, a favorite food, a story from your past. Later, she brings it up again, not as a big moment, just casually, as if it stayed in her mind longer than ordinary conversation. Most people forget small details quickly, so when someone remembers them, it often means you left a stronger impression than you realize. 5. She appears near you more often. Another subtle pattern appears through proximity. People naturally move closer to individuals they enjoy being around. This doesn't usually look dramatic. Instead, it appears through repeated small choices. She sits nearby during group settings. She joins conversations you are already part of. She seems to appear in the same spaces where interaction becomes possible. At first it feels accidental, but when it keeps happening, coincidence becomes less convincing. 6. She pays attention to your emotional state. The most revealing behavior often appears through emotional awareness. She notices when your mood changes. She remembers when something important was happening in your life and asks how it went. Sometimes it appears in simple questions. How did that meeting go? Did everything work out today? These moments show that your experiences stayed in her mind even after the conversation ended. That kind of attention rarely happens without genuine curiosity. None of these signals alone guarantee anything. Friendly people can show some of these behaviors naturally. What changes their meaning is consistency. When several of these patterns appear repeatedly, The connection between two people often begins shifting into something more meaningful. Attraction rarely announces itself loudly. Most of the time, it appears quietly through attention, behavior, and small changes in how someone responds to your presence. And many men miss those signals completely, not because they weren't there, but because they never realized what they were looking at. Sometimes the biggest clue was right in front of you the entire time. You just didn't notice it.